First contact. The starship Horizon cut through the inky blackness of space, its sleek hull glinting in the light of an unfamiliar sun. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the viewscreen before her. After years of searching, they had finally found it, a planet that showed signs of intelligent life. "Report, Dr. Pertol," Sarah called out, her voice steady despite the excitement coursing through her veins. Dr. Aisha Patel, the ship's xenobiologist, looked up from her console. "Readings are consistent, Captain. The atmosphere is breathable, and we're detecting large structures on the surface, definitely artificial." Sarah nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're about to make history. Prepare the landing party." As the crew bustled around her, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. The Horizon Project had been humanity's most ambitious endeavor yet, a mission to seek out intelligent life among the stars. For decades, Earth had listened to the cosmos, hoping for a signal that would prove they weren't alone. Now they had taken matters into their own hands. The landing shuttle descended through wisps of lavender clouds, revealing a landscape that was both alien and hauntingly familiar. Rolling hills covered in iridescent vegetation stretched as far as the eye could see, broken only by towering spires that reached towards the sky. As the shuttle touched down, Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. She led her team out onto the surface, the soft purple grass crunching beneath their boots. The air was thick with an unfamiliar scent, sweet and slightly metallic. "Stay alert," Sarah warned, her hand resting on the stunner at her hip. "We don't know what kind of welcome we'll receive." They hadn't taken more than a few steps when the ground beneath them began to tremble. Sarah's hand tightened on her weapon as a section of the earth before them started to rise, revealing a hidden entrance. From the opening emerged a group of beings unlike anything the humans had ever seen. They were tall and lithe, with skin that shimmered like polished opals. Their eyes, large and multifaceted, reflected the world around them in kaleidoscopic patterns. The leader of the aliens stepped forward, its movements fluid and graceful. It raised a hand with too many fingers, palm outward in what Sarah hoped was a gesture of peace. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Starship Horizon," she said, her voice clear and confident. "We come from a planet called Earth, seeking peaceful contact with other intelligent life." The alien tilted its head, observing Sarah with obvious curiosity. Then, to everyone's surprise, it spoke, not in words, but in a series of musical tones that seemed to resonate within their minds. Dr. Patel gasped. "Captain, I think they're telepathic. The tones are triggering synaptic responses in our brains, translating their thoughts into something we can understand." Sarah nodded, fighting to keep her composure in the face of this extraordinary development. She focused on the alien leader, projecting her thoughts as clearly as she could. "We are honored to meet you," she thought. "We have traveled far in hopes of finding others among the stars." The alien's response came in a wave of emotions and fragmented images, curiosity, caution, and a sense of ancient wisdom that made Sarah feel like a child in comparison. "Welcome, travelers from afar," the alien's thoughts resonated in their minds. "We are the Luminari, guardians of this world for countless cycles. Your arrival was foretold in the cosmic symphony." Sarah exchanged glances with her team, a mix of excitement and trepidation on their faces. "Foretold?" she thought back. "You knew we were coming." The luminary leader gestured towards the towering spires. "The universe sings to those who listen. We heard the echoes of your journey long before your ship entered our star system." As the initial shock of contact began to wear off, Sarah's mind raced with questions. The implications of meeting a species with such advanced abilities were staggering. This was more than just first contact, it was a glimpse into the true potential of life in the universe. "We have much to learn from each other," Sarah projected, hoping her sincerity would come through in her thoughts. The luminary leader's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "Indeed, but knowledge comes with responsibility." Are you prepared for the trials that lie ahead? Before Sarah could respond, a piercing tone cut through the air. The Luminari turned as one, their bodies tensing in a way that set off alarm bells in Sarah's mind. "What's happening?" she asked aloud, forgetting in her concern to communicate telepathically. The Luminari leader's response came in a flurry of fragmented images, dark ships descending from the sky, worlds burning, and a sense of ancient conflict. The Devourers, the thought echoed in their minds. They have returned. Sarah's hand went to her communicator. "Chen to Horizon, scan the system for any approaching vessels." The response came back almost immediately, tinged with urgency. "Captain, we're detecting multiple ships entering the system. They're not responding to hails and are on an intercept course." Sarah turned to the Luminari leader, her expression grim. "It seems we've arrived just in time for a fight. Whatever these Devourers are, we stand ready to help defend your world." The Luminari's thoughts radiated surprise and a hint of hope. "You would stand with us against an enemy you do not know." Sarah nodded firmly. "Where I come from, we have a saying, 'The enemy of my friend is my enemy.' We may have just met, but I believe this is the beginning of a friendship between our peoples." As if in response to her words, the sky above them darkened, the lavender clouds swirling ominously. In the distance, they could see shapes descending, angular, black ships that seemed to absorb the light around them. The Luminari leader raised its hands, and the spires around them began to pulse with energy. "Then let us face this threat together, humans of Earth. The cosmic symphony has brought you to us in our hour of need. Perhaps this is the true purpose of your journey." Sarah unholstered her stunner, her team following suit. They stood shoulder to shoulder with the Luminari, an unlikely alliance forged in the face of an oncoming storm. As the first of the Devourer ships broke through the cloud cover, Sarah allowed herself a small, determined smile. This wasn't how she had imagined first contact going, but if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was adapting to the unexpected. "Horizon," she called into her communicator. "Prepare for combat. It looks like humanity's debut on the galactic stage is going to be one hell of a show." The Luminari's thoughts resonated with a mix of gratitude and resolve. Together, they faced the oncoming threat, two species united by circumstance and the shared will to survive. As the Devourer ships drew closer, Sarah couldn't help but think that this was just the beginning. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and they would face it head-on with courage, ingenuity, and the spirit of exploration that had brought them to the stars. The battle for the Luminary homeworld was about to begin, and with it, a new chapter in human history. The galaxy would soon learn that when push came to shove, humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Cultural clash. As the Devourer ships loomed closer, Captain Sarah Chen realized that the immediate threat had overshadowed a crucial aspect of their encounter: the vast cultural divide between humans and the Luminari. With tensions high and the need for cooperation paramount, the differences between the two species became glaringly apparent. "We need to coordinate our defenses," Sarah projected her thoughts, still marveling at the alien method of communication. The response she received was a confusing jumble of images and emotions, flashes of light, harmonic resonances, and a sense of cosmic balance. Dr. Patel stepped forward, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Captain, I think they're trying to tell us about their defensive capabilities, but their conceptual framework is so different from ours. It's like trying to explain color to someone who's never seen." The Luminari leader, whom they had come to know as Zixith, pulsed with a soft blue light. Its thoughts resonated in their minds, a mixture of urgency and frustration. The song of protection must be woven into the fabric of reality. Your metal ships and energy weapons are discordant notes in the cosmic symphony. Sarah fought back a wave of exasperation. They didn't have time for poetic metaphors. "Zixith, we want to help, but we need concrete information. What are your people's strengths? Weaknesses? How can we best support you?" The alien's multifaceted eyes shimmered, and Sarah felt a wave of what could only be described as cosmic amusement. Concrete. Information. Such limited concepts. The universe is fluid, ever-changing. We do not fight as you do. We harmonize, redirect, become one with the flow of existence. Lieutenant Commander Jack Rodriguez, the Horizon's tactical officer, let out a low whistle. Well, that's great and all, but I don't think becoming one with existence is going to stop those ships from blasting us into oblivion. Sarah shot him a warning glance, but she couldn't help agreeing with the sentiment. The cultural gap seemed to be widening by the second, and with it, their chances of mounting an effective defense. Suddenly, Dr. Patel's eyes lit up. "Captain, I have an idea. The Luminari communicate through a combination of telepathy and synesthesia. They quite literally see music and hear colors. Maybe if we could translate our tactical information into a format they can understand." "Do it," Sarah nodded, relief washing over her. This was why she had handpicked her crew, their ability to think outside the box in crucial moments. As Dr. Patel huddled with the ship's computer specialist to work on the translation algorithm, Sarah turned back to Zixith. "We're working on a way to better understand each other. In the meantime, can you show us to your command center, or whatever equivalent you have?" The Luminari leader's thoughts rippled with something akin to amusement. "Command center. We have no need for such structures. The entire planet is our conduit." Before Sarah could process this information, the ground beneath them began to shift. The iridescent vegetation parted, revealing a glowing network of roots and crystalline structures that pulsed with energy. "The planet itself is alive," Dr. Potel breathed, her scientific curiosity momentarily overriding the urgency of their situation. "It's all connected, a massive neural network." Zixith gestured for them to place their hands on one of the crystalline nodes. As they did, Sarah gasped. She could feel the pulse of the planet, the ebb and flow of energy coursing through its veins. More than that, she could sense the luminary themselves, their consciousness intertwined with the world around them. This is incredible," Sarah managed, her mind reeling from the experience. For the first time, she began to truly grasp the profound differences between their species. The Luminari weren't just inhabitants of this world, they were a part of it in a way humans could scarcely comprehend. A series of discordant tones jolted them back to reality. Through their connection to the planet, they could sense the approach of the Devourer ships more acutely than any sensor array. "They're entering the atmosphere," Rodriguez reported, his hand instinctively going to his weapon. Zixith's thoughts resonated with a mixture of sorrow and determination. The Devourers seek to consume, to absorb all into their endless hunger. They cannot be reasoned with, only repelled. Sarah nodded grimly. "Then that's what we'll do. Horizon," she called into her communicator, "prepare to engage the enemy vessels. Coordinate with the Luminari, however you can." As the crew of the Horizon scrambled to mount a defense, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at the situation. Here they were, on an alien world, about to fight alongside beings they barely understood against an enemy they knew nothing about. It was far from the peaceful first contact they had hoped for, but it was a crash course in galactic diplomacy. The sky darkened as the first Devourer ship broke through the cloud cover. It was a massive obsidian structure that seemed to draw in light rather than reflect it. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. This was technology far beyond anything humanity had encountered. "Any suggestions on how we fight these things?" she asked Zixith, trying to keep the desperation out of her voice. The Luminari leader's response was a cascade of images and sensations. Light bending around objects, energy being redirected, the fundamental forces of the universe being manipulated in ways Sarah could barely comprehend. "Great," Rodriguez muttered. "So we're supposed to beat them with physics homework." But Dr. Patel's eyes were shining with excitement. "No, don't you see? They're showing us how to use the planet's energy network against the Devourers. If we can interface our technology with their system..." Sarah didn't need to hear more. "Do it. Rodriguez, work with Dr. Patel. See if you can find a way to channel our weapons through their network. I want options, people. As her crew rushed to merge human technology with alien biology, Sarah turned her attention to the approaching enemy. The Devourer ships had begun to deploy smaller craft, sleek and predatory, but straight towards the surface. Zixith, Sarah projected her thoughts, hoping the urgency would translate. We need to buy some time. Can your people do anything to slow them down? The response was immediate. The luminary around them began to glow, their bodies pulsing with otherworldly light. The very air seemed to shimmer, and Sarah watched in awe as the fabric of reality itself appeared to ripple. The effect on the Devourer ships was instantaneous. They began to move erratically, as if caught in invisible currents. Some collided with each other, while others veered off course, crashing into the distant hills. Incredible, Sarah breathed. They're manipulating space-time itself. But the effort was clearly taking its toll. The luminary's glow began to fade, and Sarah could sense their exhaustion through the planetary link. We can't keep this up forever, she realized. We need to strike back, and soon. As if in answer to her thoughts, Rodriguez's voice crackled over the communicator. Captain, we've done it. We've managed to interface our phasers with the planet's energy network. It's not pretty, but it should pack one hell of a punch. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. This was what humans did best: adapting, improvising, finding solutions where none seemed possible. All right, people, this is it, she called out, her voice carrying the weight of command. We've got one shot at this. Let's show these devourers what happens when they mess with the combined might of humanity and the luminary. As the remaining enemy ships regrouped for another assault, Sarah felt a surge of determination. The cultural divide between humans and luminary was vast, but in this moment of crisis, they had found a way to bridge it. Together, they stood ready to face the oncoming storm, two species united against a common threat. The battle for the luminary homeworld was about to reach its climax, and with it, the true test of humanity's place among the stars. Whatever the outcome, Sarah knew that this day would be remembered as the moment everything changed, for Earth, for the luminary, and for the galaxy at large. The cosmic symphonic convergence. As the Devourer ships regrouped for their next assault, a peculiar phenomenon began to unfold. The very air around them seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, causing the humans' hair to stand on end and their skin to tingle with an electric charge. Captain Sarah Chen felt a sudden rush of sensations, colors she had never seen before, sounds that defied description, and a profound sense of interconnectedness with the universe itself. What's happening? She gasped, struggling to maintain her composure as waves of alien sensory input washed over her. Zixith's thoughts resonated in her mind, tinged with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The cosmic symphonic convergence. It comes once in a millennium, when the fabric of reality becomes malleable. The Devourers seek to exploit this moment for their nefarious purposes. Dr. Patel's eyes widened with realization. Captain, this could be our chance. If we can harness this energy, we might be able to turn the tide of the battle. Sarah nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. All right, people, let's think outside the box. How can we use this convergence to our advantage? As if in response to her question, the crystalline structures beneath their feet began to pulse with an intense, prismatic light. Streams of energy coursed between the spires, forming intricate patterns that seemed to dance and shift with a life of their own. Lieutenant Rodriguez let out a low whistle. It's like the whole planet is coming alive. Not just alive, Dr. Patel corrected, her voice filled with wonder. It's singing. The energy patterns, they're forming a cosmic melody. Zixith's thoughts flooded their minds with images of celestial harmonies and quantum resonances. The song of creation. If we can attune ourselves to its frequency, we may be able to reshape reality itself. Sarah's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. This was far beyond anything they had trained for, venturing into realms of science and spirituality that blurred the lines between the two. But desperate times called for desperate measures. "All right," she said, steeling herself for what was to come. "What do we need to do?" The answer came not in words or thoughts, but in a sudden, overwhelming compulsion. Sarah found herself moving without conscious thought, her body swaying in rhythm with the pulsing energies around her. Her crew followed suit, each of them becoming a living conductor for the cosmic forces swirling around them. As they moved, Sarah became aware of a presence joining their impromptu dance. The luminary had formed a circle around them, their opalescent bodies shimmering with internal light. Together, humans and aliens began to weave a tapestry of energy, their movements synchronized in perfect harmony. The effect was immediate and awe-inspiring. The very air around them began to ripple and warp, colors bleeding into one another in impossible ways. Sarah watched in amazement as the devourer ships, once so menacing, began to twist and distort, their hulls warping under the influence of the cosmic song. But the devourers were not going down without a fight. As their ships began to fail, they launched a desperate counterattack. Beams of dark energy lanced out, threatening to disrupt the delicate harmony the defenders had created. "Hold the line," Sarah shouted, her voice somehow carrying over the cacophony of battle. "Focus on the song." As one, humans and luminary redoubled their efforts. The cosmic melody swelled, reaching a crescendo that seemed to shake the very foundations of reality. Sarah felt as if her body was dissolving, becoming one with the energy around her. In that moment, she understood the universe in ways she never had before. The intricate dance of subatomic particles, the grand waltz of galaxies, all part of a greater cosmic symphony. With a final, reality-bending surge, the combined power of human determination and luminary wisdom reached its peak. The devourer ships, caught in the maelstrom of cosmic energy, began to fold in on themselves. It was as if the very fabric of space-time was rejecting their presence, erasing them from existence. In a blinding flash of light that seemed to encompass every color imaginable, the threat was gone. The skies above the luminary homeworld cleared, revealing a vista of stars more beautiful and vibrant than Sarah had ever seen. As the energy of the cosmic symphonic convergence began to fade, Sarah found herself returning to her physical form. She looked around at her crew, seeing the same mix of exhaustion and exhilaration on their faces that she felt herself. Zixith approached, its multifaceted eyes shimmering with an emotion Sarah could only describe as profound respect. "You have done the impossible," the luminary leader projected. "In harmonizing with the cosmic symphony, you have not only saved our world, but elevated yourselves to a new level of existence." Sarah smiled, still trying to process the incredible experience they had just been through. "I think we all learned something today about the true nature of the universe and ourselves." As the humans and luminary began to celebrate their unlikely victory, Sarah couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning. They had touched something profound, a cosmic truth that transcended the boundaries of species and cultures. The galaxy, it seemed, was far stranger and more wonderful than they had ever imagined. And humanity, with its unique blend of adaptability, determination, and creativity, was ready to take its place among the cosmic dancers. As news of their victory spread across the stars, Sarah knew that the universe would never be the same. The age of cosmic harmony had begun, and humanity was poised to play a leading role in the grand symphony of existence, the quantum nexus awakening. In the aftermath of their victory against the Devourers, Captain Sarah Chen and her crew found themselves at the center of a galactic paradigm shift. The cosmic symphonic convergence had not only repelled the invaders, but had also unlocked dormant potentials within both humans and luminary. As the twin suns of the luminary homeworld rose, casting an ethereal glow across the landscape, Sarah noticed something extraordinary. Tendrils of luminescent energy swirled around her fingers, responding to her thoughts and emotions. "Dr. Petal," she called out, her voice tinged with a mixture of awe and concern, "are you seeing this?" The xenobiologist was already engrossed in scanning herself and the surrounding area with a modified tricorder. "It's incredible, Captain," she breathed. The convergence has altered our neural pathways, creating a quantum nexus within our minds. Lieutenant Rodriguez flexed his hand, watching as arcs of energy danced between his fingertips. So, what? With superheroes now? Zix's thoughts resonated in their minds, a kaleidoscope of emotions and insights. You have become more than you were, yet you remain uniquely human. The quantum nexus allows you to perceive and interact with the fundamental forces of the universe in ways previously unimaginable. As if to demonstrate, the luminary leader gestured towards a nearby crystal formation. The structure began to shift and flow like liquid, reshaping itself into an intricate fractal pattern that seemed to pulse with inner light. Holy quantum entanglement, Dr. Patel whispered, her scientific mind racing to comprehend what she was witnessing. Sarah felt a surge of both excitement and trepidation. The implications of this development were staggering. We need to approach this carefully, she warned her crew. This kind of power, it could change everything. No sooner had the words left her mouth than a shimmering portal materialized before them. Through it stepped beings of pure energy, their forms constantly shifting and pulsing with otherworldly hues. Greetings, Nexus awakened, a voice echoed in their minds, somehow conveying a sense of ancient wisdom and cosmic authority. We are the quantum custodians, guardians of the multiverse. Your actions during the convergence have rippled across realities, drawing our attention. Sarah straightened, instinctively assuming a diplomatic posture. I am Captain Sarah Chen of Earth. We mean no harm. We're still trying to understand what's happened to us. The lead custodian's form coalesced into a more humanoid shape, though still composed of swirling energy. Your species has taken its first steps into a larger cosmic reality. With the quantum nexus, you now have the potential to shape the very fabric of existence. This power comes with great responsibility. And great risk, another custodian added, its tone tinged with concern. There are forces in the multiverse that would seek to exploit your newfound abilities. The Devourers were but a taste of what lies beyond the veil of your reality. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. Are you saying there are worse things out there than planet-eating monstrosities? The custodian's collective thoughts conveyed a grim affirmative. The cosmic tapestry is vast and full of wonders, but also terrors beyond mortal comprehension. Eldritch horrors that lurk between dimensions, chronivores that feast on time itself, and beings of pure entropy that seek to unravel the laws of physics. Well, that's just great, Rodriguez muttered, though Sarah noted the determined set of his jaw. Humanity had never been one to back down from a challenge. Dr. Petal stepped forward, her eyes shining with curiosity. Can you teach us? Help us understand and control these new abilities. The custodians seemed to confer among themselves, their energy forms rippling with silent communication. Finally, the leader turned back to the group. We can offer guidance, but the journey of discovery must be your own. The quantum nexus is unique to each individual, a reflection of your innermost selves. Learning to harness it will be a test of not just skill, but of character. Its thoughts interjected, a melody of determination and solidarity. We, too, have been changed by the convergence. Perhaps humans and Luminari can learn together, combining our strengths to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Sarah nodded, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. I like the sound of that. A cosmic alliance. The lead custodian's form pulsed with what Sarah interpreted as approval. Very well. We shall establish a quantum academy here, on this world that stands at the intersection of your two species. Here, you will learn to navigate the higher dimensions, to bend probability and manipulate the fundamental forces of creation. As the custodians began to outline their plans for the academy, Sarah's mind raced with the possibilities. They had set out to explore the stars, to make first contact with alien life. Instead, they had stumbled upon a cosmic awakening that would redefine humanity's place in the universe. Captain, Rodriguez said, his voice low but filled with excitement, permission to send a message to Earth. I have a feeling Starfleet is going to want to hear about this. Sarah chuckled, imagining the reactions back home. Granted, Lieutenant, but keep it brief. Something tells me we're going to be very busy for the foreseeable future. As the humans and Luminary began to mingle, sharing their experiences and marveling at their new abilities, Sarah gazed up at the star-filled sky. The universe had just become infinitely larger and more complex, but also infinitely more fascinating. The age of the quantum nexus had begun, and humanity was poised to become a major player in the cosmic drama. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever wonders or terrors they might face, Sarah knew one thing for certain: it was going to be one hell of an adventure, the multiversal odyssey. As the Quantum Academy took shape on the Luminary homeworld, now dubbed Nexus Prime, Captain Sarah Chen found herself at the forefront of humanity's greatest adventure. Months of intensive training had honed their newfound abilities, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. One fateful day, as Sarah practiced manipulating quantum probabilities under the watchful eye of a custodian instructor, a violent tremor shook the academy grounds. The sky above split open, revealing a swirling vortex of cosmic energies. Convergence fault. The custodian's thoughts boomed in their minds. The barrier between realities is collapsing. Sarah sprang into action, her quantum nexus abilities allowing her to perceive the intricate web of space-time around them. "Rodriguez Patel, with me," she called out. "We need to stabilize the rift before it tears Nexus Prime apart." As they raced towards the anomaly, Sarah marveled at how far they'd come. Rodriguez now moved with liquid grace, his body phasing in and out of normal space as he navigated obstacles. Dr. Patel's eyes glowed with an inner light as she analyzed the quantum fluctuations in real time. Reaching the epicenter of the disturbance, they found Zixith and a group of Luminari already attempting to contain the rift. Their opalescent bodies pulsed with energy as they wove a lattice of quantum strings around the vortex. "It's not holding." Zixith's thoughts rang out, tinged with desperation. "The fault runs deeper than we anticipated." Sarah took a deep breath, centering herself as she'd been taught. "Then we go deeper," she declared. "Everyone, link up. We're taking this to the quantum level." Joining hands, humans and Luminari alike, they focused their collective will on the tear in reality. Sarah felt her consciousness expand, merging with the others as they delved into the subatomic realm. Here, amid the dance of quarks and leptons, they could see the true nature of the problem. The convergence had weakened the walls between universes, and now entire realities were bleeding into one another. "Look," Dr. Patel's voice echoed in their shared mind space. "Those energy signatures, they're not random. This is deliberate." As they watched, tendrils of dark energy probed the weakened barriers, seeking entry into their universe. Sarah's blood ran cold as she recognized the signature. It was the same energy the Devourers had wielded. "They're back," Rodriguez growled, "and they've brought friends." Indeed, behind the Devourer energies lurked other, even more alien presences. Eldritch geometries that hurt to look at, beings of pure chaos that threatened to unravel the laws of physics, and vast, hungry intelligences that seemed to consume light itself. "The cosmic horrors," Zixith's thoughts whispered. "The custodians warned us, but to see them," Sarah steeled herself, pushing aside the primal fear that threatened to overwhelm her. "We didn't come this far to fall at the first hurdle," she declared. "New plan. We're not just closing this rift, we're taking the fight to them." Using their combined quantum nexus abilities, they began to reshape the very fabric of space-time around the tier. Instead of simply sealing it, they created a quantum bridge, a controlled pathway between universes. "Patel, you're our navigator," Sarah commanded. "Find us a safe route through the multiverse. Rodriguez, you're on defense. Anything ugly tries to follow us, you shut it down. Zixith, we'll need the Luminary's harmonizing abilities to keep us stable as we travel. Let's move." As one, they plunged into the swirling vortex of the quantum bridge. The sensation was indescribable. They were everywhere and nowhere, existing in multiple states simultaneously as they traversed the spaces between realities. They caught glimpses of other worlds, some eerily similar to their own, others so alien they defied comprehension. In one reality, they saw Earth dominated by hyper-intelligent dinosaurs. In another, the entire galaxy was a single vast consciousness. But they couldn't afford to sightsee. The cosmic horrors were in pursuit, their otherworldly forms twisting and contorting as they tried to navigate the quantum bridge. "They're gaining on us," Rodriguez called out, his essence pulsing with exertion as he threw up quantum barriers to slow their advance. "Almost there," Dr. Petal responded, her consciousness spread across countless probabilistic pathways. "I found the source of the incursion." With a final push, they emerged into a reality that seemed to be the photo-negative of their own. Here, dark energy reigned supreme, and the very stars pulsed with an ominous, hungry light. "The Devourer homeworld," Sarah breathed, taking in the nightmarish landscape before them. "We end this here." As they prepared to face the source of the threat, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at the journey that had brought them to this point. From a simple exploration mission to standing at the front lines of a multiversal war, humanity had proven its adaptability and courage time and time again. The cosmic horrors began to converge on their position, their forms twisting reality itself as they approached. But Sarah felt no fear, only a fierce determination. With the combined might of humanity's ingenuity, the Luminaries' wisdom, and the power of the quantum nexus at their disposal, they were ready to face whatever horrors the multiverse could throw at them. "All right," Teen Sarah said, her voice steady as she surveyed the oncoming storm of eldritch abominations. "Let's show these cosmic nightmares why you don't mess with the beings of light. For Earth, for Nexus Prime, for all of reality, let's save the multiverse." As they charged into battle, quantum energies swirling around them, Sarah knew that this was more than just a fight for survival. It was humanity's ultimate test, a crucible that would define their place in the grand tapestry of existence. The multiversal odyssey had begun, and the fate of all realities hung in the balance. Whatever the outcome, one thing was certain: the legend of humanity's stand against the cosmic horrors would echo across the multiverse for eons to come.